Heyo, are you ready for episode 2?
Where the bloody hell have you been?
Yes, I am late. I'm sorry I've been gone so long. I'm sorry, I pretty much missed an entire month. I have been swamped at Olympus with world building. I haven't even actually had time for personal matters. Me and my exercise bike have put our status to it's complicated. So things have been kind of swamped over there. And so I'm running a little bit late with the radio's episode. What we're going to do is we're just going to roll in April's episode into May's episode. So this show will be absolutely packed with content for you to explore in VR chat, with a couple of major announcements as well. So the first announcement is we actually decided to add a new section to ensure we keep you up to date on community requests, bulletins, and serious matters as well. So this is where you're going to have current news for VR chat and also VR chat adjacent matter. Like, might even throw some YouTube news in there and stuff like that. And I hate to do this, but we have to start off with some bad news. And that's a heads up about Discord scams. We felt like this was really important to tackle, and we wanted to make sure it was the first thing we tackle, because it's going to be kind of a bummer, and then we'll get into all the positive stuff after. And I have to tell you, when it comes to these Discord scams, ladies and gentlemen, this is serious. And so we're going to take a little bit more of a serious tone on this one. So it has been brought to a lot of our attention that people are reporting getting scammed with complete loss of their Discord, email, and having potentially their financials and identification and ID theft impacted as well. Notable people like Poyomi. Now, if you don't know who Poyomi is, really quick, if you're wearing an avatar, it more than likely has Poyomi shaders on it. Pretty much most of the shaders for VR chat go through Poyomi. They're an absolutely wonderful human being. There's no more I can say about that. But then also DJ Gearbolt from our pilot episode in March is also a victim of this. And it has been a slow climb for them to get back what they lost. And from what we can tell, some of the damage is permanent. As far as we can tell, these scammers are looking for access to people's crypto wallets. Now, the method they're using is a form of like social engineering. The hacker appears as a friend, more than likely using an account that they've already hacked, then looking through that person's friends to hack more people, or they come as a friend of a friend. And they stay very friendly and often know things about you before attacking, like who your friends are and who you are, basically doing research to find things to talk to you about, to either give you the illusion that maybe there's somebody you used to be friends with, or somebody that you've interacted with in VR chat. So with this method that they're using, this is a form of social engineering that causes the victim to drop their guard, right? They feel comfortable with this person, and so they follow links and they download content like Minecraft mod packs, which they'll invite you to join their server and stuff. This is when the damage starts. What happens is immediately you click on a link, nothing happens, you lose control of your Discord, and immediately they're in your PC, your browser is getting scraped for passwords and logins, and it spreads from there. So let's say you have your Gmail password saved on your browser, boom, they're in your Gmail, they're getting passwords for everything, and if you have your wallets and stuff hooked up to your Gmail, then they're getting into that as well. This method is known as a token grab, and it bypasses two-factor authentication. In Gearbolt's case, they lost everything they had access to, including their work email. In Poyomi's case, the person began to impersonate them on their Patreon and other platforms, removing mod privileges from their team on Discord and causing the damage to spread further and beyond them. Try to understand, this is not the usual scam where someone's trying to get you to, hire them to do a 3D model. This is somebody who is intentionally trying to get your information. They're going to quickly do research on you and try to make it seem like you know each other. This is much more engineered towards getting you to drop your defenses, and the results are far deeper, where it can lead to full identity theft, affecting your in-world life, not just your online life. So protecting yourself. There's a few simple rules that you can do here that is going to make your life a whole lot safer. First of all, that's properly vetting people. If a friend suddenly wants you to download something, talk to them first and ensure it's them. Don't trust randoms, don't talk to strangers or friends of friends. The advice from when you were a kid still applies. Internet trust is a very thin thing, and once you lose your account, your friends are next, so you're not just keeping yourself safe, you're actually keeping people you care about safe. If you absolutely need to have like a password manager or password save thing, use a reputable password manager that's encrypted. That'll make it a lot harder for them to get to your login information. While I understand the subject matter is heavy to start off an episode with, these issues are real and are affecting people right now. They cause real damage to you, your ID, your financials, and privacy, so don't underestimate the dangers on this. But aside from that, psychological effects can also be heavy. You're suddenly stressed out because you don't have access to anything. Your financials may be affected, but then you're also cut off from your friends and your friend groups across multiple platforms. More than likely, you'll have to wipe your entire PC to ensure it's not compromised in any way. Losing work, projects, like that sudden isolation can be difficult, and these scammers, man, they don't care. So you gotta keep yourself safe. As far as I can tell, Payomi and Gearbolt have both regained control of what they lost, but it took a really long time. But the links to the content about what these two people went through will be in the description, so you can either read, and I'm pretty sure there's a video from Gearbolt in there. Well, that was a bummer. Some people just really suck. But we aren't done yet. We have plenty to go over with the rest of the episode, and as well as more news. And in other news, we have a bulletin section, or consider it like a help wanted section if your group needs it. And we've already got one from a personal favorite of mine called Mosaic. So let me tell you who Mosaic is. Mosaic is a VR chat media group that makes their own magazine for free. Now you should be seeing us flipping through on the screen while we read this off. Mosaic covers interesting events, people, worlds, and groups, and features them in a magazine, as well as helping cover interesting events in regards to taking pictures and stuff for the host groups. Now, this is very media adjacent to what we do here at Olympus, so we definitely see a lot in common with them. They actually helped out our parent group, Olympus, with prom last year, and the pictures were stunning. Like, these guys know how to use a camera. They were so beautiful. So currently, they're looking for experienced photographers, writers, and editors, but are also willing to train people. They do it for the love of VR chat, and they're looking for volunteers who enjoy working together in a friendly, motivating atmosphere. So if you're looking for a media group to belong to and push your photography skills, or you have an interest in exploring photography in general, or article development and editing, hit them up on their Discord. Links are below. And the last bulletin is from us. Olympus Radio would like to feature your group. You don't have to be big. You don't have to, you don't have to reach a certain size. You can be small. It doesn't matter. If you're looking for us to talk about what you do, or you want us to come and see what you do, then we're more than willing to come around and then cover you in the show. Feel free to hit us up. This month actually is highly front-loaded, so we're actually looking to do like a small mini show by the mid-month, because so far, May, everything's up front, and it's very bare on the back end, so we're hoping that we can find folks, so that way we can give people some heads up as to what's happening more towards the end of May. All right, moving on. So much to cover. We're just going to keep the rocket rolling here because we're going to keep our pace up. So let's jump into the highlights and give you a review as to what happened over the last couple of weeks. And we're going to start off with one of the events we talked about in our first episode, which was Slyfest's Terrible Tentacles, which was in March. That was actually my first Slyfest event, and it was highly impressive. First, I showed up alone. I was like by myself. I didn't know a soul in that place, but immediately the vibe was there. People who were workers for the group approached, introduced themselves, were friendly immediately, and suddenly I was talking to like 10 people I didn't know, but felt the warm, friendly attitude. It's like this weird thing where like Slyfest like attracts nice people. I don't know what kind of voodoo they've got going, but eventually I want to look under the hood and I want to see what the magic is. But eventually we did run into people we knew, and one of those is someone I want to give a shout out to, which is Ayumi Koi. Now, if you don't know Koi, she's an amazing dancer at Lux Nova, but also she's a live streamer. I actually got spotted in her live stream at the event. I was very sauced on champagne. So that probably was embarrassing. I don't want to talk about it. But make sure to check her stream out. I'll leave the link below and pass her a ton of love. But overall, the mini event was great. It was live music, but then it was changing environments as well. So you started off on this kind of yacht, a cruise ship, and then eventually you ended up on a beach. And then there was these interactive activities, like you were fighting a squid's tentacles from the beach with like these laser guns. It was crazy, truly like this unique experience that took place at a DJ music event. It's totally wild. And while we did miss Savage Sailors in April, we'll be trying our best to make the next one and hopefully give you a heads up on the details for when that's going to pop up. But moving on, past Slyfest, we also hit up Chamber VR's Awakening event. Now this event took place in a world that's fashioned after Vegas, looked just like Vegas. It was gorgeous. And it was sort of like a talent show. If you could get to the talent show, because there was like all this traffic and you had to run through it. I definitely was playing Frogger, trying to get across the road. It was a ton of fun. But the talent was insane. There was like all these great performances all night. But if I have to pick my top pick, it goes to a tribute group called the Voyagers. They're fashioned a lot of their style after Daft Punk. And then they expand outside of that. But the music was like captivating. Everybody was talking and all of a sudden they started playing and everybody just went quiet. And everybody just started getting closer and closer to them as they were playing because their music just sucked everybody in. They are very, very talented DJs. But they also run their own group, the Voyagers. So make sure to check them out and give them a high five from us because we got to talk to them and they're really friendly too. Goes to show you that people in VR chat, even if they get successful, it doesn't go to their head. But the last event that we're going to point out in the highlights comes from a friend of the channel, Club LA, and they celebrated their 3-year anniversary. Now, Club LA is run by The Italian. That's what we call him, The Italian. Italian is a world dev, group runner, and event coordinator. We actually got to work with them last November for Dias de los Muertos at CLA Records. You should check out CLA Records. It's really, really nice. I don't know how Italian does it, but they make like these amazing worlds that like look like street parties and stuff. That's what CLA Records is. It's like this like street party. It's so like it's like a blend of realism and VR chat. It's really, really cool. Hopefully soon we'll be able to give you a proper intro to Italian and Club LA, but give us some time to work that out with them. All right, that was some of the highlights over the last like 6 weeks. I don't want to get too much into it because we still got a lot of content to cover. So let's stop looking in the past and let's start looking in the future because we have some huge announcements for some of the headliners that are coming up. And in the very immediate future, actually, I mean like the imminent future, by the time you're getting this, it'll be happening shortly. We are starting with The Strange Pair. Now, The Strange Pair is a VR chat art gala. Now, let me be clear, no AI art. Art made by real people. Oz Parasol is the curator and owner, and actually an amazing artist themselves. And in tonight's event, they're working in cooperation with VRChat Space Jam. They're hosting Gallery Show 44 Beautiful Infinity at 7 p.m. EST, May 7th, tonight. And if we work fast enough on this episode and we actually get into the instance, you will catch me there at the Strange Pair tonight. So I don't know what you're doing right now. Like, it's not like you need to watch. Get your headset on. Go charge it up if you have to. Charge your trackers. Get ready. It's happening. Ray meow. Okay, but just after that, we have a massive event and a super special announcement. This weekend, D-Gen is having their 5-year anniversary. It is going to be 3 stages, 40 DJs, and 2 amazing nights of full party mode. The event starts at 8 p.m. EST and runs till 3 a.m. But guess who's going to be doing a live show there? That's right, you're going to catch Olympus Radio at a booth, interviewing people and all sorts of stuff, doing a full live stream at D-Gen's 5-year anniversary. Now, there's going to be other groups there too, and actually a personal friend of the show, DJ Roomba! Oh my goodness, DJ Roomba is an amazing music performer. I might be a little bit of a groupie. But they'll also be performing at that event, and you should most certainly catch their set, because this guy knows what he's doing. Like, the guy's got skills. But, also make sure, before you get there on Friday night, grab your booze. So when you swing by to say hi to either me or Roomba, you make sure you can have a cheers with us. This is actually huge, our first live show. I'm so pumped. But we have another event this weekend from 2 very well-known groups. You see what I mean about May being kind of front-loaded? Like, all this is only happening in one weekend. But these 2 groups are Rift VR and Quest Compatible Clubbing, also known as QCC. And they're throwing their Nexus event on May 8th from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. Now, Rift VR is a well-known group. Like, pretty sure everybody knows who Rift VR is, but even more so, you should know who the owner is, Aztec Angelo. So we decided, why don't we just let Angelo talk for themselves? So here's the mic, Angelo. Why don't you tell them who you are?
Hi there, I'm Aztec Angelo, owner and world creator of Rift VR. I started off in VRChat probably about 5 years ago now. And before I even jumped into VRChat, I didn't know about the rave scene, both in person or virtual. And I got my start checking out places like Tube, and really grew to love the VRChat community, especially in the rave scene. It's just a great time. And I wanted to give back to that community. I had the world dev skills. My education is in game design and environments, so I had all the skills needed to make one. And so about 3 years ago, I finished making the first edition of Rift. It is a lore-based sci-fi venue out in the middle of deep space. The dance floor is on this asteroid surrounded by these dimensional time-space tears in reality, where you see the visuals. And we try to once a month throw what we call a Nexus event with another community. It's essentially kind of like a takeover, but on top of just having their community come over and take over with their DJs, I also talk to their world dev and their community leader, and we make a special build of Rift, where essentially the rifts have connected to their world, and their world's venue is falling through into our world for the night. So we'll bring in different meshes and images of their world through these rifts throughout the night. And it's only for that one night only. After that, the rifts kind of close from that dimension, and we go back to our own dedicated just visuals and normal events. I wanted to make a venue that was not only something that you couldn't get in reality, like something like you have this VR platform that is amazing, and the sky's the limit essentially. So I wanted to make something I hadn't seen before and put my own spin on it, spread my wings artistically, but also make this a chance to showcase all these beautiful and amazing communities inside of VRChat, which are really making a difference. I know like a lot of these places, they throw charity events and spend so much time into organizing and building worlds. Rift itself has been a iterative project, a living venue, so to speak, over the past 3 years, where I'm constantly updating and adding new effects and adding to the roster of documented DJs, dancers, communities that we've ever worked with. We actually keep a computer terminal inside the main research dome of the venue, where we keep living documents of each event, which DJs were booked, which dancers signed up, any VJs or any sort of Nexus communities that we've worked with in the past. They all get logged and saved, along with like a wall of posters from previous events. In the future, with Rift kind of getting close to where I wanted to envision it in terms of performance and features, I'm planning on making new homeworlds that I can hopefully hook up to Curator Economy and make it personable for communities that don't necessarily have a homeworld for themselves. That's still very early in development. I'm hoping to get that out sometime this year. But in terms of other venues, I've also had a few on the back burner. One being a music venue that can kind of bridge the gap between the DJ scene and also the artist scene, with all like, the musicians and singers out there in a holodeck kind of format, keeping with the space theme, something in like a Rift connected universe, but adjacent to the main Rift venue.
Angelo's worlds are actually so trippy with like all these effects happening everywhere. Your eyes don't get bored. So if you see them, give them some love from all of us. On a side note, we noticed how people enjoyed hearing from these creators. So we're starting to put into some development more long-form content where we actually sit down with creators and we have an actual chat that you can listen to. So stay tuned for that. Now, lastly, the Cauldron are doing an event for all the Stranger Things fans out there. On May 23rd, finally found something for the end of May. On May 23rd, you can get ready for the Hellfire event. Now, Olympus will actually be collaborating with them. Olympus Radio won't be there, but Olympus will. And this is going to be a synthwave metal mixing event in the Upside Down, where the trailer park is. So you actually be in the Upside Down. It's going to be a PC event, unfortunately, but if you have a PC, you'll be in the Upside Down. Make sure you find you like some sort of Stranger Things avatar or change your avatar's outfit, and we'll see you all down there. But we got to keep this rolling. We still have spotlights and traffic reports to go over. Isn't this wild? So, spotlights. This is where we shine a light on cool and interesting places. And this month, we actually have a theme for you guys. We've got fitness worlds. That's right. VR chat fitness is a thing. And a whole lot of fun, to be honest. I've been trying it out. So just make sure you have enough room spaced out. We're going to give you this warning now. Watch your controllers. Watch your walls. Make sure there's nothing to trip over. Be safe in your space. And, understand the constraints of your space. So first of all, we'll get into some like general fitness worlds that are cross-platform just to get your blood pumping. Starting off with VR boxing. Now you should know this world, but it's a place where you can go and actually do boxing in VR. It's a whole lot of fun. You take your friends, you vent some frustration, and you punch them in the face without actually having to punch each other. And if that's a little too confrontational, we have another world called cyber fencing. This is where, you get to be a bit more fancy about it and show off a lot of that finesse. It actually does have a lot of movement, and if you get creative with your fencing strikes, then you will be moving around a lot, and you can kind of learn a completely useless skill, which is always a good thing. But maybe that isn't enough. You aren't just here to get moving. You're here to make gains. You're like, I want gains, bro. I want to feel the burn. I want to get in the zone. I'm a king. Then the Mighty Gym is your place. This place actually hits. It has like swimming, so you actually have to move your arms to swim. You don't click your controllers, you move your arms. It has climbing, boxing, and a workout arcade, where it gets you to perform different exercises. But if you decide that you go through their website and you subscribe for a monthly fee, you can attend trainer-directed classes that play out like games and adventures and stuff. They actually have an adventure mode in there too, and they've got like a peaceful meditation area, the yoga, it's got everything. So to use all the initial stuff, the swimming, the boxing, the arcade stuff, all of that, all free. But if you want to join up with some of their trainer-directed classes, go check out their website. You should see it right there. The link will be in the description, and you can get in shape. Who would have thought we'd come so far in VR chat where we actually have trainer-directed fitness classes? Isn't that wild? But let's give the PC users some time here. And we've got a classic. In case the PC users forgot, we've got VR dancing. It's a PC world that teaches you how to dance. You put something up on the screen, it's got this insane library, some of them even made by VR chat users in VR chat. You can follow along, you can learn how to dance in this place. But if dancing isn't your thing, just go in there and hit up the Fitness Marshall playlist. Trust me, Fitness Marshall, like, that dude is gonna get your hips rolling. That dude, don't even get me started. But they will pump you up, and they will improve those moves. So make sure to check them out. But maybe if PC sports is something you want to get into, we have badminton that we featured in the first episode, but we also have VRC beach volleyball. Badminton's great if it's just you and a friend, but if you can get together 4 players or more, I would very much recommend VRC volleyball. I had an absolute blast there. We played this last fall with Cybar, and it was great. I was bouncing all around the room, okay? I was determined to win, and I did, thank you. So, if you ever want to challenge me to a volleyball game, I will take you. That being said, once again, mind your play space. In volleyball, you will be jumping around. But lastly, for our May Fitness Month, we have a recommendation from a friend of the show, actually. We got a recommendation from the Red Panda himself, Ropai. And they recommended The Spire. Now, this is an interesting world if you've never heard of it. It's a world where you climb up this, like, spire mountain thing, and you have to reach the top. So you kind of climb up and around it, and what the climbing is kind of like a puzzle. You have to look around for your next spot to reach. If you fall, you start over. So it has stages though. If you do fall, what'll happen is when you reach a stage, a little ta-da thing goes off, and then when you fall and you get down to the bottom, you just click on a flag and you'll go back up to the stage that you were at. But still, like, I'd recommend trying this while you're standing. You will get tired. Your hands are just up, right? And you're just holding your hands up, because if you move your hands down and you let go, you're going to fall. So you have to keep your hand up, and then you're stretching your arm to reach the next place. It's probably not even the place you should be reaching for, because it's a puzzle, right? But you end up staying like that for a long time. It works your core a little, and it works like, you're stretching. Like, you do a lot of stretching and stuff, and you actually feel really good. And then you can just chill out at a shrine at the top and chit-chat with your friends. It's honestly a really good time. Now, the reason we did fitness this month is because it's spring. Like, we're coming up to summer. We should really also engage in that yearly event where we all go touch grass. But before we do that, let's get in shape a little bit. Let's feel a little bit better about ourselves. You know what I mean? Honestly, once you start moving, it's hard to stop. If you're having a difficult time, there's one thing that helped me when I was trying to get into working out. And it's one simple phrase. You don't get motivated to work out. You work out to get motivated. And it's so true. After you develop a routine, doesn't matter what you do, 15 minutes, what have you, and you start doing that every day, you realize that's the part of the day that pumps you up. You start feeling better after you do that. That's why it's always good to work out in the morning, because in the rest of the day, you're just like, yeah, I'm taking the day on. So just remember, I know it's hard to get motivated to work out. Don't use motivation to get you to work out. Use working out to get you motivated for the rest of the day. All right, now you're like, Atlas, I'm craving some interactions with people. I want to know where the people are going. Why is my world empty? This is the traffic report. This is my favorite part of the show. Traffic report lets you know where all the traffic is headed. So let's rapid fire bang this out with the VR chat traffic activity report. First, we'll get one of the PC worlds out of the way, and then we'll move on to Cross. Because you guys should know that Terrors of Nowhere just got an update. Massive amounts of traffic are headed there, with averages between 300 to 400 players are going to Terrors of Nowhere. So you should go hit that place up and watch a bunch of random people get jump scared. Now, if you've never been to Terrors of Nowhere, you're gonna get scared. Things are gonna chase you through mazes. It's terrifying, but if you like being scared, you should go to Terrors of Nowhere. Okay, now for the cross platforms. It seems like traffic is actually going to a culturally diverse section of VR chat, and honestly, that's just beautiful to see. First up, pardon my pronunciation, is Himari Ryokan. Tell me if I pronounce that right. It's a Japanese world, and right now it has hundreds of players at like any given moment. There's just people hanging out there. Now, in my personal experience, talking to people from Japan or Korea, they've always just been super friendly. The moment you say you're from somewhere else, they just want to know about you. But after that, we've got French Vibes. It's a chill place, which has been highly populated. Tons of instances going at any single moment. Interact with some French people, interact with some people who like French. I'm Canadian. I interact with French people all the time. They're great people. Maybe none of that's your vibe. Maybe some Latin culture's your vibe. Mind my pronunciation again, but if Latin culture is more your fancy, then Cruzeiro Brazil has been popping hard. It's a cruise ship that's just basically made for people who speak Latin languages. It's really great. I've always had a great time when I go there. Plenty of people speaking Spanish around me. You might pick some up, you never know. But aside from the culture scene, we've got a game of crates, where it's your job to open crates. I've been seeing averages of 300 plus players floating around in there. I've got to go check this game out. I've got to open me up some crates and just talk to some randoms. But if that's not enough, we've also got the Freak Circus. This is a world that's based on a visual novel that goes by the same name. I have a visual novel to read now. It's something that's a bit different outside the main lines, but they've also been receiving like plenty of visitors, so this graphic novel must have been popular. Now, if you're looking for some way to flex those vocals because you are the karaoke king or queen, hit up Karaoke and Sync. Plenty of traffic headed in that direction. Definitely a great way to spend your time. You should sing as loud as possible, okay? Trust me, your neighbors will thank me later. But you know we're always chasing nostalgia, right? Always chasing that nostalgia. You should go back to Sovereign's Chill Home. It's still got it, man. Sovereign is still updating that world. At the end of, I think it was April like 24th or 28th, they just did a new update on Sovereign's Chill Home. If you haven't been in a while, so much has changed. But if you're looking for like this cool, like, you know, big house vibe where you can just meet people hanging out, playing beer pong and jumping around in the pool or the hot tub, it's definitely a great hangout world. But last today, we are going to give some special notice for our traffic report. We are going to give a salute to an iconic VR chat bar world. Okay, now this world has been around forever. Stand up to attention, ladies and gentlemen. This was actually my first world that I went to in VR chat outside the player home. I ended up in Bar Hien. That's Hien. And this place brings back memories. One day I have to tell you guys a story. One day, remind me. I will tell you a story about Bar Hien. But for now, go check it out. Player counts are now reaching over 100 again, which is impressive given that it's 5 years old and it's only got a 30 player maximum cap per instance, which means that you're not going to take a hit on your performance. And if you like pouring drinks, you go in there. This is from 5 years ago. You go in there and you mix drinks and the colors mix in your cup. So then they look layered. So you pour in a bunch of yellow and then you pour in a bunch of blue. Then it goes like yellow, green, blue. You know what I mean? Like you actually get those interactions with your glasses. Some of the bottles make sounds when you open them up. You don't get world effects from the drinks, but you can actually like drink them. Like you tilt them. I'm pretty sure you tilt them back or you click them. Either way, Bar Hien, absolutely amazing bar. Everything you could want from what VR chat used to be. It'll definitely scratch that nostalgia itch for you. Whew! That was a lot. Like, I was hoping to keep this under 30 minutes. You see what I mean? 30 minutes. All right, let's do a quick recap. Discord scams. Keep yourself safe. Use an encrypted password manager if you need to use something like that. The Strange Pair, tonight at 7 p.m. EST. DGen, May 8th and 9th, starting at 8 p.m. Our first live show. Rift, on the 8th, starting at 9 p.m. EST. Get some VR chat culture worlds in you, get your blood cup pumping, and cheers to Bar Hien and Sovereign's Chill Home. You guys are the OGs. Now you might be wondering why I sounded so different. Maybe the audio was a little funny and all chopped up. That's because I'm actually suffering from really bad allergies. My nose is a faucet. And so I've been trying really hard to hide this from you guys. I don't know if I did a successful job. I'm sorry if I sound plugged up or the audio was a little bit suffering on this one. That's my bad. Either way, you'll catch me tonight at the Strange Pair having a few drinks, and then we'll be drinking, not hammered, but drinking with DGen. DGen's probably going to cheers me up so many times. Anyway, it's going to be a train wreck. I will see you guys there. I hope you have a great rest of your May. Peace and love. Atlas out.